We've teamed up with Zenovia Interactive to bring you Neon Inferno, a retro-inspired run-and-gun shooter with gameplay inspired by classics like Contra and Wild Guns. It's packed with high-octane action, stunning set pieces, and it's all set in the bleak, crime-filled New York of 2055, drenched in gritty dystopia reminiscent of Blade Runner and Cyberpunk 2077.
Wake the fuck up, samurai.
But what you might not expect is that alongside its sharp pixel graphics and soundtrack, it also features a rich narrative filled with characters, factions, and a deep history. You'll navigate the world of Neon Inferno just like any other side-scroller, but there's a twist. Enemies just don't enter from your left and right, like in Contra, they also show up in front and behind you, like in Wild Guns, so keep your eyes peeled. To defeat your enemies, you can fire off round after round from your trusty blaster, or deflect bullets from your plasma knife. Additionally, if you hold down the deflect button, you'll activate bullet time. This allows you to redirect gunfire back to its original distributor, or send it into another combatant, dealing increased damage. Upon completion of each mission, you'll earn a certain amount of cash that you can take to the Gunslinger's store and use towards weapon upgrades. For your plasma knife, you can upgrade to Slash Wave, which shoots out a damaging shockwave from your melee attack. As for your pistol, you have a handful of different options. You can upgrade to a Chaser Shot, which shoots homing bullets that track down the closest enemy. There's also Rapid Shot, which increases your rate of fire when you just want to fill your opponents with lead. Flame Shot spits out fiery explosions that deal massive damage, which can be super helpful in those pesky boss fights. And lastly, you can buy a Plasma Shield, which offers protection from incoming attacks to keep you in the fight a bit longer. Now, it's worth noting that with each purchase you make at Gunslingers, you only receive a finite number of ammo per mission, so make each shot count. As for these missions, Neon Inferno features two major game modes. There's the standard story mode and a 1-credit clear arcade mode. This provides the ultimate challenge of Neon Inferno. You must play through the entire game with just a single precious life. If arcade mode doesn't put your dedication to the test, I don't know what will. But Neon Inferno is designed so that, given enough time, you'll eventually become good enough to master it. You can also choose to take on these waves of enemies solo, or get your closest ally to help you out in 2-player co-op. Not to mention, you'll experience plenty of memorable tunes throughout this game, and each one feels particularly relevant to the context of the story. Bustling through the crowded neon streets of Manhattan at night, you'll be treated to a futuristic synth beat, sure to summon your inner Ryan Gosling. Whacking enemies above the stage of an opera, you'll do so while listening to a bel canto performance like no other. The story of Neon Inferno follows a pair of notorious assassins, Angelo and Mariana, who serve the family. These two were dreamt up by the Japanese illustrator Tsukasa Jun, who you might recognize from his work with Capcom and Saikyo. What is the family, you might ask? To put it simply, the family is a pan-American crime syndicate born from the remnants of the fading syndicates like the Italian Mafia and the Irish Mob.
We're starting the Irish Mob.
The head of the family, Don Venatori, adopted Angelo as an orphan and raised him as his own son, with the caveat that he would become indelibly tangled in a world of crime. Angelo struggles with an inner battle between being a cold-blooded killer and a man of faith. He seeks salvation in the next life to redeem his horrific deeds in this life. Meanwhile, his partner, Mariana, is pretty much the exact opposite. Mariana grew up in gated, upper-middle-class neighborhoods her whole life, guarded by private security and shuttled around by armored cars. Despite her life's luxuries and stability, or perhaps exactly due to these, Mariana craved something more. She craved an escape from boredom. Slowly, she entered the underworld, first as a pickpocket, which is how she stumbled into Angelo's life. The two began dating, and soon enough, she had committed herself to the family, even changing her last name, as was their standard rite of passage. While these two might seem like polar opposites, they actually complement each other perfectly in the pursuit of achieving the family's goal. And that goal is simple. The family wants control over the city. See, we're in the year 2055. And New York City is currently under siege by several different entities, all vying for total power. Angelo and Mariana are the driving forces behind the family's mission. But what are they up against? There are 3 key enemy factions in Neon Inferno. You have the ferocious rival gang of the Yakuza. There's also the corrupt, oppressive forces of the NYPD, and finally there's the Pangea Corporation, which supply weaponry to all sides of the conflict at a massive profit, while also occasionally providing their own hyper-augmented super soldiers as mercenary muscle. Not only are you fighting members of each of these factions, but they're all actively fighting each other as well. Throughout certain missions, you might be lucky enough to achieve an additional assist from a police officer gunning down Yakuza members right in your path. While this can be helpful at times, it also means you're taking on 3 different dragons at once, each with their own unique set of challenges to overcome. Your goal for every mission is to carry out orders for the big man pulling the strings, which usually entails carrying out a hit on a variety of targets. In one mission, you might be hired to target the head of a rival gang, thus dismantling the organization from within. And in the next, you might be tasked with taking out a prominent politician who stands in the family's way. It's through these missions that you can pick up on details that hint toward the greater social and political issues at the center of this dystopia. That being said, if you only care about high-impact, blood-pumping action, you can skip all the yapping and get straight to the blasting. We don't want to spoil everything, so we'll keep the rest of Neon Inferno's story a surprise. Whether you're blazing down the highway with the NYPD in hot pursuit, blasting away rival gang members in a smoke-filled nightclub, or dodging missiles from an enemy mech on top of a dilapidated hotel, this game is packed to the brim with unique and exhilarating experiences. Even while raging over your 20th failed attempt at a mission, you'll at least get to feast your eyes on these stunning game over screens. I mean, that's gotta make dying a little bit more bearable, right? Now, you may be asking yourself, when and how can I jump into the action? Neon Inferno has already released digitally on all platforms back on November 20th. On Steam, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, and your Xbox. But if you're a physical media fan, you're in luck. We've teamed up with Limited Run Games to release this game physically for Switch and PlayStation 5. It features brand new key art by David Liu and includes an exclusive game manual filled with game info. The pre-order starts this Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, and ends December 28th on Limited Run Games website. Check it out in the link in the description. We've really only covered the tip of the iceberg here. If you want to learn more, check out the Neon Inferno website or follow us on socials for additional information. We're excited to see you in the Inferno very soon.